Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share a little bit of time, a little bit of love and light and encouragement and inspiration. And you know what? I'm going to very shortly drop the link to the chat, drop the link to join in the chat. I have invited someone already based on conversations and things that have happened in my life, but I send invitations quite often. So here we are, brothers and sisters, sincerely, all of you who have joined in, tuned in, presently or in the future. Thank you, sincerely. I'm sitting here and I've already been moved today by so many emotions of joy and love. Recognizing with humility this life that God has before us all, the possibilities of what may come forth. Anyway, we'll come around here from the thumbnail today, and a quote from me. And you know, I'm recognizing sometimes I can say things unclearly, and it's not intentionally. But there's truth in these words. Stop fearing God and you can stop fearing people. God is within all of us. And yet we're so quick to place each other up on these, on these different hierarchies and superiority, inferiority. But stop fearing God, recognize the God within yourself. Start treating other people as though there is some godliness within them, and you stop fearing people. Stop fearing people. I'm not afraid of people. Oh yeah. Consider it. How are you fearing people? How are you fearing what the world has offered? How are you feeling? How are you fearing what others may or may not be doing? We all have this tendency, and the society we were born into, it feeds on these tendencies. It knows how to manipulate people. People get manipulated for profits. It's how the game works. Welcome to the game of life, brothers and sisters. We're here to simplify things. We're here to help all of us, right? We're here to help each other overcome our fears, overcoming the problems that we're creating for ourselves and for each other due to the lack of understanding. People truly do suffer and perish due to a lack of wisdom, understanding. Well, lack of many things. Anyway, back to this. Sincerely, stop fearing God and you can stop fearing people. And a real easy to overcome fears, if you can see your fear a different way, because I know there's words that say fear God and have a fear of God and many other things. Okay, so let's accept that and let's move past the faith with a different perspective on move past the fear with a different perspective on what the fear is offering. Fear of God, fear of authority, fear of whatever, fear of that which you seek. It can be replaced with respect, with loyalty, that recognizing, even if I am afraid of you, God, it's worth it. I know that. And so with love, with curiosity, love, faith in God, man, peace can be found in every moment. Logically, I can't I've not, I've got enough moments in my life that prove me wrong, but in my own life, I'm finding more peaceful moments than unpeaceful, unpleasant moments. And I tell you what, that's what life's about. It's about finding the balance of what you want and don't want, what you like and don't like, what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. This world we're living in, it's so amazing, so incredible, so divine, and it's just been so amazingly corrupted. Incredibly corrupted. I see that you still are convinced and convicted in you, and I am becoming more confident in who I am and what I know and what God allows me to bring forth. Because in the end, here's what I know. It is only God. God is the good. So when we deny the good, we miss out on the good. And each of us, we get to choose everything we want to think. It's so amazing, so divine, the way that our God, our Father, the Supreme Creator, the Source, the way the source of life has put all the pieces out and put all the pieces together so that the source of life, I don't know, could experience the emergence of what we might become. I mean, that kind of makes sense to me. I realize it sounds like a little whatever word salad if you've got a closed mind, but not anything related to me, but these thoughts are elevated. These are elevated ways of seeing the way the world is, from a greater perspective, a more humbling perspective from me as a man. I don't know. Brothers and sisters, hey, Nubs, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, that's right. I do have you blocked still. I tell you what, Nubs, that's what I was wondering. I thought I had you blocked, but it was from up here. You're welcome to come, but to join, but be aware, Nubs. This is my house. This is my stream, my purpose, and my intentions are sincerely to create a place where we can, as people, find resolve. We can find agreement. We can find peace. That's the whole topic, right? Do we want to continue to live in this combative world where there's all sorts of reasons to fear and to hate, to judge, to compete? We can keep doing the ways of the past, but there's different ways. There's better ways. There's the ways of love, compassion. It's what many believers claim to believe in. It's the way of the Christ. God doesn't want us fighting. I'm confident of that. Well, you know what? Praise God. I don't know what God does and does not want. I know that I don't want people fighting. I know I don't want to fight with people. So I'm curious. Nubs, welcome. Can you show me who you are? How are you?
I'm your Google Assistant. How can I help you?
Fascinating.
What's up, Jack?
The conversation.
Sucks. I don't mean to destroy your broadcast or anything.
So what are we doing?
Like everybody else.
Here, brother, because of the connection and only because of the connection, I'm going to place you to the back. But I have suspicions that you weren't actually maybe listening to what I've been talking about. And I have tell you what, Nubs, I'm going to no, I'm not going to kick you. You do what you want, but how do we improve your connection? I suggest you disconnect and try it again. So the topic of fear and love. Can you love what you fear? Many people, and myself included, especially in the past I used to do this, and I see others doing this. So people will use this love as an excuse to carry around fears. For example, our children, our spouses will use their existence, the fact that they exist in our life, as a reason for us to fear what we hear in the news, what we see going on, because we've been conditioned not to care for ourselves. To some degree, that's okay. That's accurate. It's noble. That is righteously true. We shouldn't have, a big obsession about only ourselves. Well, there's this world has a variety. There's a diversity of people. So there's many who, like me, are not, serve in the military, willing to sacrifice themselves for the ideal of a greater good. We are here to love one another sincerely. Say those words to yourself, recognizing the I and the we that you're speaking of. I am here to love. We are here to love. If you speak those words to yourself, how does it feel inside? Does it feel true? Or does it feel like you're lying? Because I'm telling you, these are words that are coming from my experience, which I resisted this and I found excuses and I fought the messages God was showing me. And then I finally learned how to surrender to love, to the truth of love, the truth of God's love. It's abundant. In yesterday's stream, and brothers and sisters, to those who are new, thank you. Thank you for joining. For those who have been around, you know the patterns. But in the patterns of chaos, sometimes there's beautiful things coming out. Angeline, I think it was offering on her way out something about God is waiting to be discovered. Love is waiting to be discovered. The good is waiting to be discovered. So what does that mean? Well, that is your path. You find that. What does that mean to me? Okay, if God's waiting to be discovered by me, if love is waiting to be discovered by me, that means, what was the other one? I don't know. The way to know, the way to know God and love and the truth is to surrender, to stop creating resistance to the love, to the truth, and the God that is. There is a divine essence to everything. It's there. And finding peace with what is there, wherever, finding peace with who you are, where you are, living life from where you are at. Man, that's how to grow. Hey, here's another bright light who knows how to love
Yes.
Black Santa Claus.
And
How
you,
perfect.
you gotta love this too, Jack. I'm sitting thinking about what you said yesterday, and I don't know, whenever we saw each other, you said that Joe, understand it's my show, and you're supposed to be helping out. I'm paraphrasing, but I've been thinking about it, and I was thinking, what better time? Because I'm stubborn as fuck. Not saying that we're gonna do this shit all the time, but let's give it a shot. I can do better. I want my man to look good, right? Give it a shot, Joe. It's just us. I get to just cater my shit to you, and that type of shit. All right. So I'm just got that in mind up here until someone else hops up. Let's see if I can't help my man's out.
You know what? Actually, I appreciate that. And you can. Today, admittedly, while I'm filled with inspiration,
Yeah.
I've had some conversations. I'm still navigating, finding my way through my visit to the Kendra G show. That is
Yes,
her
yes,
name,
yes,
right?
yes. Yeah,
Kendra
yeah,
G.
yeah,
Golly. Um,
yeah. Tell me about it.
I've met some amazing, incredible people, and
Can I interrupt you? You can hold your thought.
sure,
I won't take but a second. I feel bad because I didn't know that you had went over there and saw Kendra, and that was the day I particularly gave you shit when people would have came over here and you booted me like 2 times in a row. And I thought about it after they showed me the Kendra slip. I'm like, oh fuck, he had new company over and shit. And if I'd have known, I'd have would have behaved better, bro. But please continue.
hey, no worries, man.
Uh,
Actually, excuse me. I've had some inspiring conversations and met some beautiful people, but there's a couple that one of them I'm asking them, is this catfishing? You playing games with me? I don't really understand what's going on here. So
I'm good with the catfish shit. I'm kind of a YouTube celebrity. I've been catfished by dudes, women, all sorts of people. You're in my wheelhouse here. Have you visually talked to this chick? Girl, but it's short, right? It's only been short time because you just met
right.
Kendra a while. Um, how have you communicated? Can I ask? Strictly text, or did you hear a voice?
Nope, no voice yet. She's heard mine, but I've not heard hers.
All right.
So
All right. Let
there's
me give you.
red flags, and I'm
Yeah,
not
no. It's only been a week. It's only been a
yet.
week. But I would not push forward. I know she could be listening if she's trying to get you or whatever. But my advice still is, lay low. Don't push it, man. And you can keep communicating with her. If something, you guys see something and then you want to push it forward. But for right now, until she comes toward you, keep it level. That'd be my advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, I've been quick to shut the door on people, and then I've had the door shut on me so many times. I've been learning maybe not be so quick. So you're right, Joe. Just see what happens, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just seeing what happens. But I mean, I've had guys reach out to me too from that visit because they resonated with the role of activism and the messages.
Yo.
So
All
yeah.
right. This sucks for me because I gotta be good if they're over here. But have they been coming over here? Because I want to make you look good. I don't want to make you your better impression to new people.
Hey, the numbers did rise a little bit, but it seems to go up and down.
All right. I meant, when I better numbers, I meant, had you recognized anyone in communication with you? Anybody in chat saying I'm from? Okay, great. That's nice.
Yes, there has been.
I just feel worse when I hear that, bro, because I was so shitty that day.
Hey, no, man, no worries. It's all about the future. See, and that's one thing, you and I, Joe, we are here to help each other improve. I know that, right?
Solely, solely. Yes, we may be clumsy, but that is
Yeah,
our
right.
goal. Yes.
Right. But we both know that life is in the future, right? But it's happening. It's happening here.
That
Here
goes
is
without.
happening.
I understand both. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
the
Uh,
future is where it's gonna change.
uh,
Oh no, I wanted to come back to you. So I think when you came up, I was bouncing around with Angeline's words from yesterday about God is there waiting to be discovered, right? The good is there waiting to be discovered. That's where I took it.
right. I'm trying to remember, but go ahead.
Well, from here, for those tuning in who might be tuning in because they're at a point where they're just frustrated and they're not seeing anything but bad news, they're discouraged, all of that stuff. What do you offer? How do you remind yourself to find the good when it seems like the shit's stacking up against you? What
Me
have you
personally,
done? Yeah.
uh, shoot, I don't. I don't know, man. I'm really like happy God all the fucking time,
All
man.
right.
And
So how long
when
is it? How long has it been since you were in one of those states where you like,
fuck, no, I wasn't in that state. I could have been when it got super
okay,
cold out here. A couple days of cold, car didn't stop. Had to have a mechanic look at it. Call dealerships. I heard all sorts of shit. And my fender's in a fucked up place, which meant I had to get out there in the cold. And the battery is in the fender. If you ever heard of such a crazy thing, it's not under the hood. You got to take off the quarter pounders. All of this shit. They can't afford all the shit that I thought I was gonna have to do and all of that shit. I was in that situation, but I never had to, struggle or anything like that, man. I never had to really, this sucks. That's like outrage for me. I'm gonna go get high. I'll smoke. I'm fine. It don't really. Uh, I don't know. I might be the wrong person. I've never been happier, bro. Never been happier. Every day on top of day. It doesn't mean bad shit don't happen. I don't struggle
right?
and shit, but I've learned to be happy through it. I don't even
How
know
long?
if I have to reset anymore. I
Well,
feel like I'm in that state all the time.
Joe, you are different, and
Uh,
that's what I realized. The way I'm feeling this happiness, it is different than many people. Many people don't understand that,
all,
and
you, all you gotta do is watch somebody cut somebody off in the road. The guy or female who says all this stuff, blah blah blah. See how it gets on her skin, or his skin. If it's just a God damn it, that speaks. If it's a look at this motherfucker, that speaks, right? And if it's a hey, I'm easy, baby, that speaks of the person, man. I don't listen to nothing come out of motherfucking mouth. That's a good test. Hey, Angeline, baby. I was trying to remember. You and Angeline. I had to shut motherfuckers up so she can try to get this shit out and all of that shit. And I don't remember what it was. And I thought it was great. I'm like, shut up, let him answer a question. I don't even remember what the fuck we was talking about.
I don't know, man.
Oh no.
You are fun. You are a hoot.
Yeah, same. And your life would be much easier with niggas like me, Jack. I swear, close. You got the soft place to land. I don't have to go into it. I'm sure I've discussed it here. Me and you, soft place to land shit. So you can do really goofy shit around me, and I'm not gonna fucking judge you for it. So that's cool too.
Yes. That's what I'm working on doing better with. Hey, Angeline, yes, if you're able, I saw you did something on the nervous systems and trauma. I didn't get a chance to check it out. But if
Whatever
you're
it is, if you're interested, right? Whatever it is, if you're interested.
yeah, and Angeline is another. I mean, she has this compassion that I just like, holy cows. I learn, I watch, and I see. She's a beautiful
See,
example.
her and Jesse are next level shit.
Yep.
But the
Yep.
first thing that popped in my head, you've been blessed. You've got some of the most intelligent. I don't want to name names because I don't want to leave some chicks
Right,
out.
right.
But you got some of the smartest fucking chicks that I've seen on the internet visit your fucking room, and I count her among them. I wouldn't think, and she does the what do you call it? somebody texted me and this fucking squirrel. She has the crystal energy and the
Yeah,
age of Aquarius vibe too, but she's brilliant with the way she sees it, focuses it, proposes it. Ah,
yes.
shit. Yeah.
Joe, I have.
Sarah, brilliant.
Yep,
Lindsay, brilliant.
yep,
I said I wasn't gonna name names, but those
Yep.
fucks, bro.
this is what I mean. I have been blessed. We have been blessed to
Yes,
discover, to be a
yes.
part of this.
Yes.
And I'm always thinking, what's the next level? Where are we going
Okay.
to take this to?
Well, yeah,
Right?
I'm a little lightweight with that. I do think about it, blah blah, but I also, men make plans and God laughs. I I am more. I got to put in the work. That's what I'm more concerned with. And when it's in this area, I still have an agenda, which I'm sure you know. I don't listen to you or whoever show it is. I have an agenda, but it's work. I think I'm trying to do God's work. I'm trying to get these guys learn to communicate better, learn this, blah blah blah, get us to work together better, whatever the fuck that is. And I put in work with, my girl, my family, friends. I'm always thinking, put in the work. I don't worry about the results, man. And I do it at the time when motherfuckers' tempers are flaring and all of that shit. I managed to do it then. As long as you put that shit in, I think you can lay your head down at night. Even if you take bumps and bruises, you're not laying there licking your wounds and shit. You're fucking feeling like, whoo, I put in a good one. I'm hurt from playing a good hard day of football, and you feel good about it. Oh, that's me.
Joe, yes, absolutely. I've done those. I literally had to push myself the other way, though.
Go ahead.
I had to push myself into detaching from doing, into surrendering my
Yes, there's a
time.
time for that. Yes.
you know?
Hibernate, generate. Hey, baby. Hibernate, generate, and blow up. That's what I call it. You hibernate, and that's when your friends slip away because they want you at every party and everything like that. You generate, right? That's when you produce your product. Then you reveal it and you blow the fuck up. That's my hibernate, generate, blow up. And it's safe to say friends slip away, but so what? Any of that type of shit.
Hey, welcome, Angeline. If you've got anything.
Yeah, anything.
You guys are awesome. Yeah.
No chance you remember what we were talking about yesterday, right? No chance. Somebody rude fuck in the bottom right-hand corner kept interrupting us. I don't even remember who it was.
Oh, it's definitely stretching me and trying to hold on to my thoughts before they disappear. That's for sure.
It was brutal, right?
Yeah, it definitely was. They love to sidetrack the conversation everywhere but forward.
I'll be thinking our motherfuckers paid. You got an echo. You got your, what do you call it? YouTube open, Angela.
Oops.
Yeah.
I think you may have closed the wrong one.
I'd be thinking, are these people who seem to specialize in disrupting and sidetracking the conversation, are they paid? Most of them, no. Most of them, you're just talking about shit they're uncomfortable with. Most of them are simply because they're not familiar with that topic or in that topic. Like, say, we're giggly. I got some cool buddies that, cannot do the giggly shit, right? And they don't feel comfortable there. They like to see me there, but they don't feel comfortable. They don't want to be there. I think most of it is people would rather move the conversation to where they're comfortable. That's what I think most of it is. I don't think it's nefarious, but some motherfuckers keep doing it. It's like they're intentionally trying to fuck with the conversation. I don't go a day without thinking half a dozen niggas paid.
It definitely feels like a lot of it's on purpose, almost like they don't want the topic to get forward.
I would agree.
No, but refresh me on where we were going yesterday, Jack. You said you had something particular on your mind, I think.
No, well, what I was building off, it was something I thought you said in that God is waiting there for us to seek, and love is, and the good is.
Something popped in my mind because I think after I left, I heard you said a comment about you've been trying to move forward in love, and it seems like you're meeting every obstacle possible. And um, one thing I just wanted to clarify on that was what I was specifically talking about was taking a risk on intuition. So, like if you're wanting to move forward in love, or you have like a particular plan in love or direction that you want to go, sorry, my throat's bugging me today. Then instead of making a plan, which isn't bad, it's good to have a plan too, but to also be willing to be flexible and follow those intuitive hits that don't make sense,
This
especially
is
when they don't make sense.
this is
That
timely because Jack, you've been saying this. This is timely advice. I think you've been saying something very similar to what she's saying.
hmm Well, that's just like that's only from my own experience, but those intuitive hits that don't make sense are the things exactly that pull us out of our reality almost into an adventure and experience that we can't discover without taking those risks, right?
This is good shit. Good shit.
Yeah, that's
Jack,
fun.
do you hear where she's going? Because you're not responding. I assume she's talking to you. Those things that you're unfamiliar with, um, those will be the things that break you out of your. She said it much better than I can, but it seems like you prefer to embrace the familiar.
Well,
No,
it's
all
little.
right.
It can be little things like say you're going to the same store you go to every day, and if you're really listening, you get a intuitive hit to like go to a different store that day.
I do it all the time.
Park somewhere different. Go talk to somebody you wouldn't normally talk. Like those kind of things, those weird
Yeah.
little things, right?
Yes. I won't take the
And
same route. I won't go to the same places. I take different streets and all that shit intentionally, get on the expressway at different places. So those different moments can occur to give them opportunities and all of that shit. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that shit you talking about.
Me as well. And I like what you're saying. When we get those feelings, press into the feeling. Don't just immediately assume you know what that feeling at that time means. Because
No, she's saying if it's uncomfortable and you don't and you're unfamiliar with it, still press into it. That might be the one that pulls you away from your comfortabilities and grows you and all of that shit is logical.
that's where I was going. Yeah,
Yeah.
you use the feelings as they're alert signals. That's all they are. They're not there to control us. They're just signals for us to interpret and realize. But a lot of people will feel that fear of feel a feeling and they'll be like, oh no, that means I got to stay away. No,
Yes.
no, that's your path. Your body identified that for you to
Very good.
notice, to pay attention, to
Yes, baby.
question.
Yes.
and
Oh,
and there's
Go ahead, please.
oh, I was gonna say, and there's different energy and signaling too. So our bodies are wired, and we'll have different certain signals that so energy like things will get released on the inside, but then there's an energy that comes from outside of us too, right? And that's the one we got to be like not let ourselves interpret, instead kind of go with it, right? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I mean, things can trigger energy inside. Like we can exercise and feel good. We can feel hyper for whatever reason. We can whatever. But
yeah.
sometimes you get like a heart racing or whatever, butterflies or um, goosebumps or whatever. It feels like it came out of nowhere from the outside.
Yeah.
And then start listening to your heart, right? Over your
Even if it,
brain.
yeah, even if it makes you a little anxious or whatever, right, speeds your heart up, still pay attention to it, I think is what you're saying.
Oh gosh, my heart races so fast, and then I know it's not going to stop until I get whatever is in me out of my mouth, and then it'll
Engage
slow
it. That's
down.
me, man. Even if I'm afraid, I'll go in that direction. I won't even ask questions, bro. Uh, if it makes my heart race, I'm gonna experience it. Even if I don't give a fuck. Fuck that fear shit. Fuck, if it's a rough neighborhood or some crazy shit, man, I'm gonna go where most niggas is gathered on the corner. I would not let my heart race. No, you're not allowed. The worst cops, government, so and so, you're not allowed. And I'm going back tomorrow. I'm an asshole, man. When I got arrested, when I got out of jail, I did a cop watch. Then went back up to and fucking audited the same police station and got into it with them again that arrested me and all that shit, man. I can't I can't let you feel that fear and control me. You don't get to say a word and make my fucking heart race. We got to get that shit over with.
Self-mastery is an important part of growing up. And the world doesn't want us to master ourselves. The world wants to be our master in many different ways. And actually, that brings out a tip for everyone. Look at yourself sincerely. You want to become sovereign and self-controlled, you got to be aware of what you're doing. And if you pay attention to yourself, watch for some signs. Watch for the can and cannot. Watch for the must and the have tos. Those are words of someone who thinks they have control. God is in control. We get to do whatever we want.
You mean watch out when it come out of another person's mouth? You have to. When another person says, watch out for those, you got to do this, you have to do that. Or what you're saying when don't let it come out of your own mouth. I have to or whatever. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Thank you. I didn't clear. I was referring to what we speak.
Okay.
If I'm saying you have to or I have to, I mean, think this through, because even if it's true, right, we've committed ourselves to a schedule or a responsibility. And so there's things where we have to get things done.
Yeah.
But if we're telling ourselves I have to, well, then you feel helpless. Your inner being is feeling
very
helpless.
good. Very
Not
good.
Helpless, but resentful, because the inner spirit, we don't want to be controlled. We are rebellious by nature.
Yes, I agree.
Right? So if you're bossing yourself around, you're going to become bitter and resentful.
You can change the way you think, though, because when I have a task, I thrive. I can charge myself up for the most fucked up duty that you got to do. I will fire myself up, and in my head, I get to do it. Seldom do I hop off a panel or come into the house and say I have to edit. No, I'd love it. Here's an opportunity. And I could erase a week worth of editing, and I'll be mad. But within minutes, I'm like, oh, this is great. You get to start fresh, nigga. You already know. And it's an opportunity. Fuck, it's love. Yeah.
I was going to say, on the other side of the spectrum from rebellion, there's also guilt. So some people are just like, some people are trying to push themselves so much, and what happens is it puts this weight of guilt on them that just kind of immobilizes them, right? And they
because
just
they never
every
live
day
up
it
to their own
becomes heavier and
expectations because they're
heavier.
pushing too hard. That's dope. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I remember as like a mom, I remember just having that revelation of I just had this amazing experience with Source, and I realized that when all the guilt was gone, I could suddenly do all the things I was trying to make myself
Oh, that
do, and I
was
wasn't
dope.
even thinking about it. It was just happening, and I was like, hey, I used to make such a big deal out of this before, and how much I felt like a failure and couldn't do everything and blah blah blah. And now I'm just doing it and not even thinking about it. Like that's
Jack,
the difference in being set free, right?
this is what Jack was talking about this the other day. That's where humility comes into play. If you can humble yourself and you're truly humble, fuck tricking yourself, you're truly humble and you tell yourself you're just somebody's daughter, then the things you do now seem great, right? You're just somebody's kid. You humble yourself. And now everything you do, you're fucking proud of. I did that. As opposed to thinking you're some type of god. I deserve 100,000 views on that vid. No, nigga. Stop it.
One of the most freeing things in the world is realizing how freaking human everyone is.
It's great.
Like
I
how it
love
doesn't
it.
matter how high of a pedestal they seem to be on in the world. When you get down to the nitty gritty, they're just as human as everyone else.
What
And
about
then it
when
makes you, huh?
they realize it, it's beautiful too, right? When you see the haughty and so, I guess all of us got a human nature. Uh, it's not necessarily to see them fall and fail, but to see them recognize you just like everybody else. I live for that moment. I don't want that guy hurt, but I don't give a fuck if you're LeBron James and all of that shit. You are just like me. Fucking John Travolta got a good story. He said he never got that way because God did it for him. Whenever he um, had a moment where he was feeling himself, I'm the man. God would make the car run out of gas or something, and his fly would be unzipped while he thought he was giving a great speech. He was like, God humbled me the entire time.
That's awesome.
Uh,
That hey, that lesson though, I had to. That was a that's a life lesson every one of us gets to learn, and I pray we all learn this
gets
soon.
to learn. Very good.
I used to be scared as shit by authority. Oh my God, bosses and managers, that scared me, man. I was
So how do
like,
you overcome that shit, Jack? Did you? Because you didn't become a new guy till afterwards. Did you overcome that fear for the authority while you were on the job? You did? Okay.
yes. And then, and then my confidence grew, and so the authority went from like, oh my God, I'm here, and they're up here, to where it was real, I'm here, and they're down here. And so that was part of the reason I think I freaked people out.
Are you smart enough now, Jack, when you see a person and you do you do that still?
No.
For a moment it don't even hit your heart that that person's better than me or that
Well,
person's up here.
I
Maybe a
still,
little.
admittedly, I still, when I see the stinking cop and the car, I still, within me, I get this little reflex, and I'm like, what the
That's
fuck is
being
that
honest. Now
about?
you're being honest, bro.
You know?
Uh,
That's been
yeah.
a long time, but hey, the idea of authority, though, it is an illusion, and recognizing that there's no separation. We're all people. We're all people figuring out how to be different people. That's it. And that's why I want to speak to the people in the government. I think they're confused. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They think they're doing a good job.
I
Well,
can buy that. They've been tricked. When you say
yeah,
confused, I'm gonna say tricked. Same
all
shit.
right.
I can buy that.
I was gonna say that thing around the cop, like you wonder why, you still get some stuff come up during around certain things. That's also just recognizing that not something's wrong with you, but there could be wiring in the nervous system to that
Good shit, girl.
situation.
Good shit. You're
So
right. This person's dangerous. This cop could. It could be your body in tune with real danger. Good. Very
That's
good.
it,
true.
it could be, but also past danger. So your body
Mhm.
can go back, right? So our body carries memory and that gets triggered. So that's why one thing I love to advocate for is tapping, because when you tap on the nervous system meridian points while a feeling is coming up, it actually calms the nervous system around that trigger and that thought, so that next time that trigger comes into your experience, your body doesn't react in the same way. And then you can be calmer and think clearer and be more present without having to manage, okay, what the hey is going on in my body? Why am I suddenly like, I know I'm fine, but my
This
body's
is
freaking out,
this is
right?
going to detract a little bit, but I hope that you hear what she is talking about. Um, the way your body remembers stuff. Do you think it's possible that your mother and father could have been through a thing a lot, and they created that nervous energy in them, and it somehow transfers to your DNA? Is that a thing? When you in that similar situation, your shit reacts differently, even if you hadn't seen it. That it's been transferred from you. That's a thing.
I think so.
How are you not being wired in the stomach? How are you not hearing different noises and voices and feeling your mother's reaction and not having that wired in you somehow?
Very
So that
good. Well,
when
yeah,
you
the
come
stomach.
out,
Yeah.
right? So
That's
that
a
when
good
you
one.
come out, if those things are around, you may react in the same way you've been wired, even in the stomach. I could
That's a
totally
good
see
one
that.
too.
It may even go further than that too. If I
I'm with you.
understand what Rupert Sheldrake has offered with the morphogenetic field,
Yeah.
that there are memories that are really passed down to us through the DNA sequencing somehow. It's amazing.
I was going there. That's why I was finna steer this motherfucker. I believe that, and I've been asking motherfuckers. Don't see me a lot of people believe that theory, Jack. I'm telling you, me and you out on the limb with this one, bro. But I believe it, Joe.
Me too. Yep.
Yes.
It makes sense. It truly, well,
All
it
that.
goes with, it blows the doors off the material sciences is what would happen, and it would bring together the questioning, right? It would start the questioning for real. If those sciences are true about the morphogenetic field and even the plasma universe should have us having different conversations regarding our separations of religion. There's one unifying force. It is clear, it is present. There is one source from which we all emerge. And we can call it God, and we can give it all sorts of different names.
Energy, whatever, vibration, you call it what you want, frequency, electromagnetic field, you can name it what you want, but I do believe that something passes unseen from me to you, from Angeline to me, and that type of shit. I believe that.
Oh yeah, I think that if we weren't in these bodies, like these bodies give us the
Hold us
illusion of
back.
separation, but if we know how to come out, it's like an internet. I like to see it like the internet, but it's all out there and we're actually connected and have access to absolutely everything if we tap in. Like even when I do art, I believe I have access to the inspiration from every artist that's ever existed because it's
Clearly,
so
yeah,
out there in energy.
it makes sense, right? Some entertainer, you go to a live show and some guy's energy, and not only do you feel it, but he will swear that he feels your energy, and that's what fed him and made him a better guy on stage that night. That energy exchange is real. That's a good example of it.
We open different doorways of awareness for each other so that we can tap into more things, right? That's what
Yeah.
inspiring each other is all about.
You cats inspired the fuck out of me. I'm so glad I found you cats. It's dumb because it's hard to find good conversation. And I'm the type who can talk about anything. So I've been settling. I can't lie. I've been settling.
I know that
I'm
feeling.
lucky now, man. I got a host of good people who I could talk to. And Jack, you're one of those people, and yours be one of those rooms where I can find some of those good people. Jeff, Gen X, Jeff, as always, Flo, where I can always elevate. I thought I was a victim of circumstance. I'll go anywhere. Fucking Cambodia in a room if they speak English, right? And it might not be my thing. Now I get stimulated, Joe. I'm not bullshit, Joe. Uh,
Good.
lucky. Uh,
Take that inspiration to every place you go too. That's
uh,
what we're here for. I was thinking, I've been talking with people. I've received feedback and suggestions on what I'm doing and how I should do it. And
okay.
one of the things I'm considering is the idea. It's been talked about. What's kind of emerged here with what I'm doing, the open panel stream, the way it is, it's kind of been, well, the idea that's coming forth is it's chats with Jack, and we're creating a space where people can be people together, right? We're learning how to be people together, though, is the key. Figuring out how to
That's what's really good in your room. I almost said sometime you resist it. I'm not trying to start a fight,
I
but
am.
uh, um, everybody gets a fucking chance to speak here, right? Even dumb topics. I'm not talking about divisive shit and that bullshit content shit. I'm talking about people with weird. You got what is that nigga name? Whatever the girl with the flame, Cage crazy ass, Snafu's crazy ass. Everybody has a voice, and you get to hear their fucking opinions and shit. Here, it's cool.
You know,
Somebody,
everyone craves and needs connection, and that's, you know, it's very fulfilling to connect because that's what we're supposed to do, especially in this world now where everybody's disconnected, but not everybody knows how to connect. So we all come out of like we all come into this from all over the place, flying
right,
everywhere because we
stumbling
don't really
into
know
each
how,
other.
right? Even though we want it, we don't always know how. Sometimes we only have one way of knowing how to connect and everything feels chaotic. And so we're all learning from each other, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think you got that echo again.
Oh, I think it's all right.
No, as long as
Um,
you mute up, it's cool.
oh, there is an interesting dynamic. Well, there's life is amazing, and it really is a dance. And I only know the dance that I've seen, but what we're living through, this is interesting. I mean, it's totally a little off topic,
It's
but
all right.
memories of being alive during the Civil War. So memories of experiences that logically we couldn't remember, right? As a
I'm
young
getting
girl,
over Jeebus as a chick. I thought y'all told me that
I
before.
think
I'm
that's
still getting over that. Oh,
his
is
spouse, wife, partner,
okay.
whatever.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Let me suck it up. I have memories and dreams of being alive during the Civil War and was a very young girl, helping ill, injured, and abandoned infant casualties of war. Whew. Uh, if that, I would love to ask a million questions, and you know how I am. I'd beat you up
I'm sure
asking
you
every
would.
question.
And Sarah, Jeebus, you're welcome to join if you're able.
If you recall, we spoke OK Street.
No, I love those guys too. I haven't interacted with them much, but everything I've seen, they're bright and beautiful. They're amazing couple. Um,
You know,
yes.
before I never really believed in past life stuff, and I still don't know where I stand because I don't think there is even time on the other side. I bet if there is past life stuff, it's all happening at the same time, right?
Of course.
So, but in this life, one big catalyst in my life was my brother drowned 2 weeks before his 13 or 2 weeks before his 12th birthday when I was 13. And then literally a few months later, my sister was supposed to come move back with us, and she went out for her 18th birthday and was beaten to death. And this was like, and there was like a ton of deaths in my family after that. It was a chaotic world. And but it was a huge catalyst for me, my brother, because he was the sweetest, kindest, nicest. Like it's one of those people you're like, why, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you question everything. And it was like years of trying to process and figure this stuff out. And it was for I mean, it was used for a purpose. I don't want to say bad things happen for on
I
purpose for a
understand what you're
reason, but
saying,
they
though.
get
Yeah,
used for good.
I get it.
And so I went through some past life thing where somebody was taking you through something, taking a group through something. And I had a vision of me in a past life being the little boy that drowned in a river. And I was like, this is so weird. Like maybe this is a catalyst thing for something in my family that we're trying to grasp or
If you've seen you remind me of a movie, the somebody's wife, time traveler's wife. But the thing was, he would be in having mid conversation, he would get sucked back in time, and the places that he got sucked were always to big events, like the girl that he ended up marrying. He would get sucked back to her yard as a kid, right? Whatever big event, he would get sucked there every time he got sucked back in time, which makes me think of what you're saying, Angeline, with the reoccurring drowning, the death thing. It's like they're echoes. I don't know if all of them are from this world, echoes from the other. There are a bunch of instances of this type of thing happening, which would suck if that theory is correct.
Life is a mystery. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was a huge awakening for me to battle with all these deaths in my life and people in my religious world saying, "Oh, they're all in a bad place," and that not making sense to me because I started having a lot of experiences on the other side where I was getting confirmation of how they were okay. I was seeing them, beautiful things you can't explain, and
Good.
it didn't add up. So it sent me into research. That's actually part of what sent me into all my years of going into the theology and trying to break all that stuff down, trying to figure it all out because it didn't add up with what I knew and was experiencing in my heart.
Very good.
The spirit wasn't adding up with what I was being told on the outside. And so I had to find a way to make sense of it all. And that's really what sent me on my journey, right?
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It was, I'm sure that had to have been just, I could imagine. I could imagine I would have been feeling like I was going nuts. What in the hell is going on? The contradictions and
The bravery to embrace that fucking journey, right?
there you go.
To study
Yeah.
and embrace that motherfucker. The bravery there it is crazy off the chain.
I'm grateful you did. The journey, I'm sure, well, the journey had its pains, but the result,
Right.
the light
Are,
that comes through in her
and
and
you and Jesse, man, I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm interrupting, but
no,
you made me think that fucking the result, this fucking, I don't even know the word for her, found Jesse, and I don't know the word for him. It's like fucking, two diamonds, you throw them up and they just happen to hit each other in the sky, man. All of that happened because of your weird fucking background that turned you into this person. And fucking same for Jesse, man. He's got a million fucking stories. You're like, what the fuck? Where'd this come from? You look like the most casual fuck in the world, but it produced that shit. And you motherfuckers together, man. Oh my
yeah.
god! If y'all ain't married, if y'all not, you niggas need to go ahead and get married, bro.
We both came from such completely opposite worlds with our own like crazy drama that happened, and then somewhere we both came to a same point and
What
like
a
knit
odds,
each other. Like
bro!
it was so
It
crazy.
meant. It's meant, bro. You'd make me happy if y'all. I'd be like, I knew I was right if y'all got married. I told you, I was right.
We
What
both had a lot of respect for each other because it's hard to find somebody who's had about as crazy as life as you had in your past, right?
Yes,
You
he'll
get it.
understand you like no one else will, bro.
Yeah, it's a journey of really finding yourself in your heart once you've experienced so much of the world. It like forces you to go in and be like, you got to figure this shit out because nothing out here makes sense once you've had enough
It's,
experience, and
you
there's
sound like you're
nowhere to
telling
get
Jack's
answers
story,
but
right?
but
Listen,
shut
Jack.
it all up and go inside, right?
Every time Jack opens his mouth when he tells his story, that's what I hear. He had to sit and figure it out. Made him have to sit and figure it out. He's still saying that. I think we were saying that today. I was saying something. He was like, "Yeah, sometimes you gotta detach from that, sit and figure shit out." I'm like, "You're right. There's a time for that as well."
that's
It
where
never ends.
that's yes, and that can seem like a burden, right? The journey never ends or never for
Yeah,
sure.
puzzle to
Oh my
figure
goodness.
out. Yeah,
But you know what? The journey never ends. The joy of discovery, it will continue,
that's a
right?
beautiful thing. And the way you're
There's
coming out your mouth, it's a beautiful. You're not saying, this dumb journey never ends. You're like, oh, the journey never ends.
oh,
Beautiful.
and we never know. We truly never know what might be discovered. We don't know what we don't know.
That's what Angeline was talking about. When you go out on a limb, you never know what awaits you. Yeah.
That's where I discovered my life, was when I broke out of the ruts of my past and doing some of the things you were talking about doing, like intentionally making different choices.
That's great.
And then
I'm
I realized,
addicted, bro. I'm addicted.
yes. And guys, brothers and sisters, it's that simple and that obvious. If you feel like you're in a rut, make a small change. That
I'll
small
give you one
change,
you
and then
can
pay
use.
attention.
The one that I use that you can use this same thing. I used to get anxiety if I thought I was going to miss my exit using the nav system, whatever you call it, Google Maps or whatever. So because I'm an asshole, I will intentionally, I still do it to this day. I don't even get the anxiety no more, but I still intentionally miss my exit and take the next one. I do it a lot. And those are the best fucking times, bro. I did it with a friend in the car and fucking just shot toward the mountains and drove for an hour. Joe, we lost internet. We were so happy in the mountains. That one I told you where I just bawled because I thought, and I hope I don't cry now. This is the greatest picture God could ever create. And then I came from behind a hill and there was a whole mountain and it was encompassing me and shit. And I just bawled. That was me taking the wrong fucking exit. Coming back with my friends, they kept going. They turned. I kept going. They're calling me. No, I do dumb shit on purpose, man. I took the wrong exit on purpose. Oh, it was so beautiful. I remember the road, bro.
You're a trip, Joe.
That's really cool though, because in a way
It
it's like, hey, I
is.
have a fear here, so I'm gonna train myself and teach myself that this isn't anything to be feared. You're like training your nervous system to let go of that
And it,
anxiety.
it makes you think you can accomplish anything. To a few of those victories with it, because that used to really get you out of. You feel like you can do anything. Anything gets you nervous. Now you run to it. That shit wasn't so scared. Who's next? What's next?
That-
You were coming at it for that shit.
That's one of the best things I found from the Wim Hof and the ice, the cold treatment, cold bath, ice baths.
Yeah.
You conquer the cold. Cold is
I'm
rude.
scared of it. I hate cold showers, bro.
Yeah, well, press into it. You start conquering that, and then all right,
That's a
I can
scary
handle
thought. I hate cold.
it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate the cold, bro. I hate cold showers. I'm the type who cut the heater on. I put my towel on the radiator so it'll be warmer. I turn the heater on in here so when I come out the shower it's warm. I hate cold, bro. That's
You definitely don't want to come here then, because wowzer, it gets cold. Sometimes
where
you get the warnings you can't go outside for 5 minutes when it's so cold because you'll get frostbite within 5 minutes. Like
where?
Alberta, Canada.
Canada? Yeah.
Yeah, some parts, not all parts, but
I do. You guys got a train that goes damn near across the country, and it takes a few days. They got sleeper cars and shit in there, and it passed not just cold but scary. It was so much snow and shit. I'm like, wow. And the train has an upper deck with a glass top where you can go up there and view everything. I thought it looked inhospitable as fuck. But if I got a sleeper car, I would love to see all these things you speak about. I don't want to have to experience that -5 degree shit for real. But if I can smoke a black and mild inside the train and see all that fucking snow and a fucking endless landscape you cats got. I had another buddy. I don't know if I ain't gonna say his name then because I don't want to dox him, but he's in Canada, man. He showed me some of the expanses of fucking land that you cats deal with, man. Oh my God. The border, if you cats haven't seen it, from Canada to US, most of the border, I forgot the percentage, 80, 90, maybe 90% is just forest. And they, for some reason, they keep a half a mile cut and then it's hours in Canada's and a half a mile, and it's endless. Look at a fucking overhead shot of this. It's just a straight fucking line of endless. Who the fuck would be in this forest? Who cuts this shit?
When I was a kid, we lived near the Canadian border, and I remember taking off riding my bike on these logging roads, and I came out, and I was up in Canada on one of the dams up there. Young
That
kid.
just sounds as a kid too. I love dams. I fish a lot. I'm a fiend. I'm a fiend. I'm a fiend.
Yeah.
If you
Like,
fish, dams mean something else because fish are always at the bottom of that dam.
I didn't mean to swing it, but
Mhm.
what came to mind when you're talking about this? This this world is so gorgeous, so beautiful, so bountiful. There's so much to discover.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn about. There's so much to do. How is it that we've been convinced that doing the same job day after day after day after day for a lifetime is what we're
Yes.
supposed to do?
It's illogical.
No. Yeah,
It's illogical.
it's not logical.
And then you're not doing it for yourself and your family. I guess in some abstract ways you are. But some guy tells you, work in my factory till you're 65 years old. I am your priority over your family and shit, because I am the one where you're going to provide for them, blah, blah. After you're 65, and by then, you know how America is, it'll be 67 will be the retirement age or whatever. Then you get to be free and do what you want and have, that don't sound like a good deal to me, motherfucker.
Hell no. No, I bought into that. I used to believe that was the way, right? I was diligently just saving away, obediently doing my job until that ungrateful employer, through its representatives, decided that I was no longer valued. I was no longer welcomed. And,
Should have opened your eyes, man.
well,
I'd run for them niggas. I know you want your justice and shit, man, but the best thing, I don't know, don't take my advice. Leaving miserable motherfuckers to themselves is sometimes the best fucking thing to do. And the best revenge, and not the revenge is a good thing, motherfucker, but fuck them niggas, is shining without them. It's
yes,
one thing with them, but without them,
yeah.
fuck them niggas.
Well, despite them and without them, I'm going to shine. And I've already, believe me, God has allowed me to lay the foundation. And when this all works out, I don't want to walk away from the United States Postal Service completely, because I know for a fact there's hundreds of thousands of dedicated men and women who care about the jobs that they're doing, right? They are employed, and I won't say every single one of them cares about their job.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. All of them aren't these ignorant fucking people who you ran into as a bunch of regular people, and I don't want them under the thumb or the oppressor and that type of shit. I get you.
Yep. I believe the Postal Service does a good job for the world, for the transmit of personal correspondence. I mean, it's not just advertising and bills.
No, it's the normal everyday human shit. They've been there for us, and they play an important role, and all of that's hard to hate on them. Yeah, I go for that. It must be fucked up though, because going postal is an expression, so it must be fucked up in there.
There's, especially depending, every place is different, of course, but under the same structure, it's performance driven. There's an expectation that people perform and obey the rules, and it can be an unfriendly place to work. And
I think I saw Amazon in the news going through the same thing, where they don't even take piss breaks and shit because the timing is so tight. They'll shorten their breaks and shit.
We're not that bad, but at the Postal Service, there's 4 different unions, employee union representations.
I wouldn't want to be in that room, bro.
No,
that.
Yeah, it's a dysfunction, but there's good and bad in the way it's set up.
Yes, just like these panels, when they get fucked up, I have to pull myself out and say, it ain't all about you, man. Time and place, here is the now shit that me and you talk about, and see what lesson is to be gleaned from this. Right? Shit, tied to what you were saying somehow, man. The weeds kicking in or something, but that was a good point somewhere, and I forgot what I was even tying it to.
I was talking regarding the dysfunction. Here's the point, though. At the Postal Service, it's a big part of America and the U.S., and there's a lot of employees there. I care about them, and I care about the work they do. And I know if given another chance, I can help the Postal Service become a better place to work for everyone. And in doing so, increase productivity and improve service with the customers, who is every single citizen, every single person.
A little worried, Jack, when you say if given another chance. I immediately envision you in the same position, with, if maybe not the same, but the same authority structure over you. And you're saying, if you put me in that same position, I think I can do it this time. I don't want you to go back in the same position. I'm firmly against that. I run nothing, though.
Yeah. What I'm talking about is another chance. I lost my career because I invited myself. Well, a lot of things involved, but in the past, I've already met with executives at the United States Postal Service. I'd like to speak to them again. The reason the attorneys advised the executives not to speak to me several years ago about my ideas was because they were concerned there was a conflict with me as an active postal employee and a business owner.
I
Well,
remember you tell me. Yeah.
today I'm neither. I'm no longer a business owner, nor am I an active postal employee. But I know for a fact that the same data I relied on back then that shows the benefits of bringing mindfulness and thoughts of consciousness into the workplace, the same data is still good. So if I can talk to those executives again now, the previous roadblocks have been overcome. So if they can buy into me a little bit, dude,
Angeline, do
I can
you
get it done.
have an opinion on this? I am trying to tie it to cop watching. I am firmly against the things you're saying right now. To me, all I hear is I'm going back to that crazy woman and I could do better this time. Fuck that bitch. I want to scream at you. So I'm trying to tie it. What if it's something like I really like activism? What if someone was telling me, Joe, fuck that cop watching shit? You know, so I'm trying to put myself in your fucking shoes and see what logic would be there. Angeline, when you listening, do you have any idea or any advice or something to add?
Logic in going back, I don't know. He had an experience and he figured out answers. He saw problems and found solutions. So, I mean, whether he goes back or not, there was a benefit in it. He's like gained some skills and just figuring out, seeing problems and figuring out answers, whether he gets to apply them in that place or not. So,
Yeah, I agree. Well, what if, and this is what I'm worried about, but I think the same advice holds. What if he goes back to the same place, gets the same chance, gets an opportunity from these people, all these things he wanted, and they crush my man? But that, I guess you can't be worried about fear. But it seems like you go back to that same hooker. She's the same hoe. She gonna do the same dumb shit. It wasn't you, it was them. It wasn't you, it was her. That type of shit. Fuck that hoe. But
I
I've
don't
been
know.
living in the streets too long. I don't know what to tell you.
You're comparing what I'm offering to visiting prostitution, and
Crazy bitches. I didn't mean prostitution. I mean that
I
crazy
don't know,
ex that doesn't deserve a second chance. But you keep
right?
going back. You've never
But
been there, bro.
it's not quite the same, because
Okay.
in some way, look at this another way. Look at this another way, okay? My story, I was conditioned and obedient and fit right in, right?
Yeah,
Um, I've since broken free of the
I
slave
understand.
mindset.
Yes, you think you'll be a beast in that now. I want to see it now. It's a
I
little
want
more
to talk
attractive.
to the plantation owners now at the Postal Service, right? I want to
Okay.
talk to the slave owners.
I see an angle. You're good. I do see an angle. Yes, with the new mind, it's almost guaranteed. Almost, if you this nigga that you seem to be, that you'd have different results. No, you can't go back to the old Jack. Pick up the old habits. Used to be good. At least it's a possibility.
That's my hope. And honestly, I don't care going back. No, going back to my old job as a bulk mail technician, you know, reviewing the postage and the auditing the statements and stuff like that. No, that's not me. No.
Uh,
But in the future, I've envisioned myself as a motivational speaker. I've envisioned
For the
trying to
post
help.
office, or wait, those two different things. Are you employed as, you know, do you see yourself in some room somewhere calling shots, or are you just encouraging niggas? Those are two totally different things. I was envisioning the first.
Both and more, Joe. I want to do both and more. I envision myself actually growing and developing myself, educating myself on my own time, growing as a coach and a speaker. And what I had done at the Postal Service, when I talked to them, my goal was to be a speaker within the Postal Service, to travel around and share ideas that would help them understand their minds, help them resolve conflicts within themselves before
I
they
see
bring them
it.
out on the workplace.
I see it. Shit. In order, go ahead, Angela.
I was gonna ask if you've ever heard of something called Toastmasters or anything like that. Have you heard of that?
Yep.
So they basically, it's a place where you get to stretch your speaking skills and speaking before an audience.
Toastmasters.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one here.
This is Toastmasters. But I would say if this is, you've failed miserably here, Jack, because practicing those words that you're going to say in front of those people, actually, you do. It's when we ask you to do it, you don't do it. But when you're just talking naturally, perhaps that's what you're doing. But when we put you on the spot and say, all right, you're in front of those people, go. Toastmasters, time, right now. Those words don't flow out of your mouth. You don't hop up there and move, motherfuckers, and say it. And yes, and you, or whatever it is you imagine, you don't hop up and do it when a motherfucker say, let's hear those fucking words. Do your Toastmaster rehearsal.
For what purpose?
It was her idea, man. I don't know. I think
Right.
she thinks it would sharpen your skills.
All right. And I've explored it, and I've visited, I've explored a few different meetings. I've talked to a couple of different people involved over the years, and it
No.
really
I
it was
wasn't
a
talking
place
about
to be
doing it.
able to practice, is what
I
I
wasn't talking about
understood.
Toastmasters. I was just talking about either that or things like that, where
Yeah,
you
I've
yeah.
explored what I could, Joe, and what I've explored has brought me to here. This is actually the simplest way, easiest way
Yes,
to reach people
yes.
and to share what I hope to share.
All right, I'm gonna
Totally.
put you on the spot. Excuse me, Angela. Let me put my man's on the spot. Angeline's theories. Toastmaster. Uh, it is your chance, and you do this every day. Shouldn't be hard to speak in front of people. You can do that, motherfucker. You do it 40 minutes a day before people hop on panels. So I'm gonna make it a little tougher. I got to give you an audience in particular. You are in front of those post office. Let me see. Do I want you in front of the which ones? The regular employees. I was maybe the supervisory, but first I want to hear you in front of the regular employees. You have that gig. You're stepping out on stage, and what do you say to them? Just some short shit. Give him hands. Come on, do it, Jack. I thought you was gonna be like, hey, get down. Now you scratching your head. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what
You can't
I
say
can,
I don't know what. I just
Joe,
pushed you out on the stage. You can't call my name and you're gonna
Joe,
break the fourth wall.
I
Go.
can I can speak on any topic at
Do it
any
now.
time.
You
Now,
fell in your Toastmaster.
a hypothetical is speaking to an audience of employees. It depends on the purpose and what has been happening in their environment and what's going on.
Roll
I
with
mean,
it. Pick one.
here's the goal I want to share
No, no,
every
no, 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 no. You about to run. Here, I'll take it. I'll do it. You throw me out on the stage in front of those posting employees. I don't know, so I'm going to give you some fake numbers here.
sure.
Uh, Guys, so great to meet you. Listen, you are now a family. By now, you know that this world doesn't work without you. We are a family. And I've been hanging out with the right people in the right places, and I've looked at these fucking studies, and I'm telling you that most of your time is spent doing all of this hard work. We can be better put to use so that you can be home with your other family. Yeah, you see, yeah, not hard. Throw some shit out there like that, yeah. I was looking for something like that. All right, I'm going to change the situation. You can't do what I just did. You're now talking to the supervisory, the heads, all of them niggas sitting in a chair again. You're up, your turn to speak. What do you tell them? Some short, like I just did. What comes out of your mouth?
There's greater productivity, greater efficiency, and a greater place to work available.
Go ahead.
Simply need your cooperation and your attention.
There you go so far.
Started now.
There you go so far. That's pretty good. All right, well done. I'm not gonna push you, nigga. That was good.
It's in there. I'm sure you've like gone over this a lot inside, so that's awesome.
Toastmasters.
That's
Well,
good.
here's the idea. I mean, I used to spend a lot of time writing speeches, writing thoughts,
Good.
and then I realized it's going to change. Anything I'm going to say is going to change based on the moment and who it is, the
You should
audience.
still write them, realizing that it's gonna
I
change.
have, yeah.
And knowing that it'll probably change the beginning. By the time you finish, you get to the bottom, you'll want to change that. It'll be ever changing, and I'm saying it's still worth writing it down.
The other part is, I'd rather be prepared to speak to anyone at any time, and
Do
then
both.
I'm not worried. And
You got to be both. You got to be both. Listen, you got to be. I'm sorry. I know I'm
Okay.
interrupting now, but I feel like I'm giving my man's good advice because I write a lot. I've done a lot of magazines, and here I write enormous. Man, I can show you tablets that are just full of writings right here since I've been here these few months. You got to write that shit down and practice simultaneously the ability to speak these things. They will happen. It won't happen like you're thinking in your head. I'll have one at 9 o'clock. It'll be at the Ambassador Hotel. No, it'll happen at the spur of the moment, and you'll have to do it when you're not prepared. So you have to be ready to that moment. You have to be that guy who writes the shit endlessly, and you also have to be the guy who comes off top of his head. You can't choose. You got to do both.
I'm gonna throw something else out there though too, because there's a lot of people who have the words but are not skilled in the writing, or are skilled in the writing and not skilled in the speaking, or blah blah blah.
All
And
right.
that's when you can really get a team together to be like, hey, this is where I'm strong, this is where I'm feeling it, this is where I'm not. And then you get people in who are good in the places you're not flowing in, and they put it all together, right?
I do that too, and I suggest you can't rely on one person. I'm sorry if I'm talking too fucking much. You can't rely on one person. You got to have a bunch of people, because now it becomes unfair. It's like that person's working for you. Jack's been a part of this, whether he knows it or not. If I have a question or something, I might ask 20, 30 motherfuckers at a time, bro. I'll put it out there. If I'll only get some back, but that's the way I do it. You're talking about, and get people to help me. And some people are really, good and nice, and it's great. Let me shut up for a while. I feel like, damn it, I'm talking too much.
The idea of a team is, yeah. Here's where my life has been, and I'm just, without judgment, just truthful observation. The past several years, I've had to really learn how to trust myself, because there's no helpful perspectives. So when we only get negative feedback, and I think others deal with this too, we go through periods where it seems the world's just negative, 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 and you can't seem to do anything good for anyone. You still got to rely on yourself. That's what I've been doing. I pray and I wonder, God, what will happen? What could I accomplish if I had a team? I don't know.
And knowing that we're not going to get along with everyone ever, and just I like to say to myself a lot, like, I'll go places where I know there's going to be a mix of good and not so good, and you just keep in mind that whole saying of, chew the meat, spit out the bones. Just like kind of let go of the stuff that doesn't resonate and still pull from the parts that can benefit and just keep making your own path. Like, I'm glad that you trust yourself and your journey, um, you know, and we're all learning to let those things go that are frustrating.
Absolutely. And hey, let me not misspeak or mislead, because I do have a team already. I mean, that's the team of the creative contribution. Honestly, that's what's been keeping me going. I do have a team already, so I couldn't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have that. I'd probably quit a while ago, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I
I
don't
love
know.
the honesty, though. Yeah.
You have a lot of people who love you, even people who may be misguided in how to love. They still love you, right? So, and we're all human and we're all messy, so we just gotta figure out each other.
I only like you, Jack.
I know. I appreciate that. And you know what? Folks like you, genuinely, Scott, Angeline, Joe, specifically, you guys have a grace and an ability about you that I've been learning from. Learning to share more compassion, trying to be more understanding. And
Jesse's that guy for me, and I hate it because I'm too competitive. But I learned from Jesse and Guru, and I hate it.
good, good. See, it's good to have men and women around us like that, that trigger us, make us feel like crap because we know we can do better.
I learned something from Joe tonight. If you're going to smoke that much pot, you should write everything down because you're going to forget it.
No. Yes.
Look, he's going to show you his books right here. He's got books full. He's not playing. He writes it all down. Otherwise, it's
I have so many books with so much writing and
I
everything.
do too. You have no idea. I have books that I saved. I had a girlfriend. She literally destroyed all kinds of stuff with bleach and stuff, and I still have the books that are wet to try and keep what I could salvage.
Oh, that
There you
sucks.
go, full.
Damn, Joe.
I love those composite books too. Those are the best. Yeah,
know,
there you go.
I remember as a young man, I'd see that and I'd judge you. I'd be like, that's a girly thing to do. Journaling, writing. What kind of girly boy does that sort of thing?
I make it pay the bills, baby. I'm not just fucking journaling, right? I
You're
make
writing your
money, bro.
stories. He's writing his treatments, basically.
I do it for the obvious, like ideas. Any ideas that's gonna make me money, I write them down. And I fine tune them out and I rewrite them. And then they might not come back for months, but it was directed towards making money. It was a thought I had. I wrote it down, and when the opportunity comes up, that video, that moment, that guy, it's there. I wrote it down. It fucking never leaves. And if I need it, if it's like video shit or something, and I really start to work with it, even if with other people, I already got notes and they're cold because I've rewritten them 6 times. This is beneficial shit.
It's like me with my research. I've got like probably written my own medical book, tons of them, just in all the notes I've taken,
And you don't
right?
even know when it's going to be the most beneficial. You don't know that you're working on a project now with some community and you're using ideas from back then. You never know.
I've gone past terabytes. I need megabytes or something to start saving information. I have no idea what I'm going to do with shit. I've only got like 75 computers full of stuff. I have no more room to save anything.
That's funny. I got the cloud. That's it, bro. I got the cloud. And I got the maximum shit and it's full, man. I'm fucked. I got to erase it all the time.
I can't even get emails sometimes because I got to erase it just to get a fucking email.
Well, consider this. Every day there's more and more information created. We are creating, saving more information, more data. I saw recently there was, I don't remember where, I think it was in Tibet, there was a library, an ancient library discovered, or maybe it was released, whatever, but access was given to this volumes. I think they said 80,000 volumes or something like that.
Scott, Google one of them computers, ancient library found in Capet, or I'll get one. I'll get a computer, but I don't want to miss what you're saying, Jack.
Well, it's just the idea. There's so much information already out there, and each day more and more information and data is made and available. That's why I say time is speeding up. It's quickening. There's more change and more record of change.
And more chance because of these records and blah, blah, blah. So you have more opportunities now.
Dude, yes.
Right. For instance, if back, I don't know, let's go back 500 years and I wanted to talk to somebody in Arkansas, it might have took 3 months. If I want to talk to somebody overseas, 6-7 months. Now I can do that shit 27 times. You know, while I'm drinking my tea, shit's sped up, like you said.
Right. And the access to actual knowledge. I was thinking, and I've seen, watching these documentaries has been a real eye opener for me, opening my mind. Before the printing press, right? Books were actually copied, handwritten fucking copies to be passed around. So to be able to read a book was like something. And then what do you do with a book?
You pass it down. Books were a big deal, bro.
Yeah. So the access we've got to knowledge today, I'm serious. We will be, here's the future I see. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I trust God is allowing the veil of confusion to fall. I trust. It happened with me. It's happened with me, and I think it will and is happening with others. So if the veils of confusion fall and mankind realizes the praise, the glory of God, the one God, right? The one that brings light, allows us love. When we all come together, well, in the way that Jesus showed with love, as all of us start living that way together.
You
Jack,
said,
I'm sharing the monastery, the library it was talking about.
Yeah. Oh.
You said, Jack, when the curtains fall. All right. I'm just really cementing that in my memory. If you're busy, when the curtains fall, then you went on to talk about the things that will be possible. I think, how do we make those curtains fall? I want to hasten those curtains falling. All right. And you do that shit too when you talk about transparency. That's the shit I hear.
When I clicked on this, it said there's a 6,000-year-old monastery or 6,000-year-old library.
What does it look like? What would they write on papyrus? 6,000? That's fucking Egyptian days. Papyrus and shit.
I'm not seeing the library here. Hang on just a second.
Fucking pricks get me all hot for that shit.
It's not showing up, Scott. I appreciate you pulling it.
It's not showing up. It's not screen. Hold on. Let me go ahead and do it again.
That, bro. I'm a nerd. I wore out library cards, right? I'm a nerd. That sounds like food. That's like somebody hearing about steak. That shit y'all talking about right now.
Is it sharing now?
Yeah, I'm looking at us.
You're sharing the StreamYard screen.
Oh, well, shit.
So
what? You're looking, yeah. So I don't know what I'm doing then.
Clearly,
maybe somebody else will be better at this. This is the first time.
No, it's not a big deal. Hopefully, I'll remember it. I'll look it up.
6,000-year-old library, though. Yeah.
I just heard about that. There is so much. Excuse me. So many things being revealed.
Oh fuck that! I'm finna get the computer. I want to look at. I'm sorry. Give me a second.
Everything from, well, it was a few years ago. I don't know when it was discovered, but like the ruins of Göbekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe, yeah, Göbekli.
Yeah, there's all this evidence of history.
Göbekli Tepe.
Thank you. There's all this evidence of history that we were not really aware of, and I got a lot of ideas regarding some of the conversations we had earlier, right? If there are past lives, and maybe they're happening sequentially, or at the same time. maybe it is all happening, and maybe this is the time where God is going to allow the light to shine. And our light here, we have been God, by God's grace. I know the 4 people here as well enough to say this, but by God's grace, we've been working on ourselves. We've found ways to improve ourselves and way to find faith in love in
But
God.
doggone it, it only shows on Angelina.
I know.
Library, it was a lie. They say the Tibetan library shit is a lie.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Not worth the paper it's written on. Claims, blah, blah, blah.
All right.
I was
It's a
so
hoax,
ready.
fake news.
I was so wanting that to be true, man. I was
Hey,
paying for the Thin Sea Scrolls. I almost paid for them back then. It was like $65 or something.
I have some thoughts on the topic of like when we were talking about the 9 to 5 and what you're talking about now, Jack. I think too, when going into the system 9 to 5, I mean, some of it's necessary, but it distracts us from, like, we now have this whole world open to us where we could basically learn anything we want
Very
on our
good.
own. And now people can actually dive into whatever inspires them and whatever they're like lit up by, and they can become experts in it, like just from their own research and the resources that are available now. And I think that alone could progress the world so much farther than being distracted all the time in that robotic, you just do the same thing every day, every day, every day, every day, and you be distracted from what's actually in you, right?
absolutely.
It's one of the reasons I've been taking so many doing so much business school lately and doing business courses, because it's like, really, I just want to be able to take whatever lights me up and turn it into something, and that's always going to be changing and shifting. I don't, it's not always going to be in the same place.
You're the only one that can guide that. It's kind of funny how so many people will try, though.
Yeah. Hey, yes, Angeline, what you were saying, that's why I'm so, I know what I'm offering, what I'm suggesting is the way that here, education. If we want to change this world, we could do a lot better job of inspiring and supporting the learning, teaching our children how to learn for themselves, providing them the support, the encouragement, the access, the tools, so that we create the next generation being far more intelligent than us. Because do you know Joe Biden is actually the president of America? And like
He's
Donald,
brilliant. He's going to pull us through, man. We need to get out and vote for that guy.
but what about Donald Trump, man? He's like
You're
the other,
right. He's a great leader as well. We should go down and vote for that
right? Joe, I think we should do better, and that's a sign that America is fucking out of its mind. Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
When we elected Reagan, we were out of our mind. An actor, he won our hearts, and we put him in charge of the fucking country. We had lost it there. We jumped the shark. Everything now is just over the top entertainment, B movie shit.
Yes, it's getting down there, man. D-rated actors, man.
That time is it, right?
What in the? I think it's time to change the programming, change the show, interrupt the show, so to say, and let the actors in on the joke. Hey, it's not funny, and I think it's time to change.
We have the opportunity. I remember when I was doing the magazines, internet was nothing like it is now. It was good, baby. And that magazine was power. Just a word, even if they didn't know. I was thinking about the newspaper. We did magazines too. The magazine is power, but in this instance, I'm thinking we also did newspapers, and people just hearing about that shit was power. They didn't know the circulation or anything. now, and I thought that I'm very fortunate to have this ability. People will listen when I speak. I could go to meetings and shit. People will listen because I had a newspaper backing me up type shit. Now that power is available to everyone on steroids. I don't know what our circulation was, but now the internet is available. I thought I had some power then, right? Every Bob has that shit now, right? Everybody has that fucking ability. You were talking about how we could change, and we need to, whatever you phrase it, we have the power now. Every one of us.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi,
Welcome, man.
everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't see Angeline's message that she was here, and I was over at Paul's listening to his broadcast, and he was cooking really good, very, very entertaining, and it was he did some really good work over there. And so tomorrow is interview 666, and tomorrow on the missing link at noon Eastern. And I know how much he loves promoting my broadcast, so I mentioned it in the comments, and yeah, he didn't like that very much. So I kind of got in some trouble, but I didn't go up on the panel. I knew he was not gonna like that, but
Who's the
he
guy
likes to trigger people, so I just did a little triggering back. Most of the people don't like us or whatever. There's some obviously that watch the show, so I wasn't really doing that to thinking that a bunch of people were gonna come
The
over.
haters.
It was more that it was gonna kind of set him off a little, and it did. But
Jesse,
actually not too much, but he just kind of
Very
mentioned,
good.
"Don't be doing that over here," and then a bunch of people got set off in the comments.
Of
who's
course, I can see it.
666?
Oh, it's his 666
Who's your
show tomorrow.
666? Because it was a guy that asked to do it. Somebody wanted to come back and be that interview. Who are you doing, Jesse?
So tomorrow is Stephen Manning, and we've interviewed him, I think, like 5 or 6 times. He's a religious and intellectual scholar. He got out of the kind of religion, but he talks about signs and symbols. So he's going to go in depth on the meaning of the 666, the mark of the beast, why people shouldn't be afraid of it. He's got a whole presentation. So
He requested this show, didn't he?
Pardon?
Cool.
He requested this show. This
he
episode.
requested it. Well, I was interviewing him, and I said I wasn't sure what I was gonna do for 666 because he talks a lot about symbols and numbers. He's like, I want that, and he's like, I wanted it. And then the guy that I interviewed today, he was like, really wanted that number. So I asked this guy. I said, hey, this guy really wants it. He's like, no, Jesse. He goes, I applied a whole presentation. I've advertised it out. I've did all this, and I said, man, I'm a man of my word. I said you could have it, so I was just asking to see, and he was like, "No way, Jose." So it's
the 666 episode. This is great, bro. It's gotta be good.
That tells you the times we're living in, right?
Well, that's talk of something really important because there's so many people that are afraid of it. There's a potential mark of the beast if they get their ways coming. So it's really important to do this as an educational. And just wanted to know your thoughts, Jack, on what you think about the 666.
Yeah, I don't know if you speak about that a lot.
I think it's man.
Oh, well, it says it is a man. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I look forward to hearing what your guy has to offer. The thoughts that I resonate with is the 666 tied to the carbon structure. The carbon structure is the material physical form here, and so really it's.
Oh man, I would die if it was something that simple. Even assuming you're right, everything has carbon structure, so. If that's the mark of the beast, it's not logical. Everything living has a carbon structure.
Well, and within us is the Christ, the Christic. It's within us as well as the Antichrist, Antichrist. It's all within all of us.
That's dope too.
Will one man rise be shown as the symbol of the Antichrist? I saw some interesting predictions, possibly Netanyahu. very potentially power, then lost power, then back to power, and
Have,
currently
Wounded near dead. I
have
was
you
thinking
heard
it was
the
Trump. They said he was wounded near dead, the beast, and Trump
right.
was out of it. Now he's back strong. But you're right, Netanyahu.
well, what
I don't
about
know.
Barack Obama? Because they say that in Hebrew, Barack Obama is lightning from heaven,
There's
or the Lucifer. You know, there's some weird things. A lot of people believe
But
that.
I don't know if that fits the wounded near dead shit that we were just talking about.
Oh, I thought you were
Netanyahu.
talking about Satan. I'm sorry, I may have missed that. I
No,
thought you were talking about.
the beast. It says that he was wounded near dead, and he came back, performed all these miracles, and he joined with the church, and they became one unity and all that weird shit.
Yeah, that wouldn't fit. I feel you. I'm sorry, I missed that.
well.
Netanyahu, Jack, if I could,
Mhm.
I read a book, or one of my favorite books, The Bible Code. Michael Drosnin was what it was, about a Middle Eastern mathematician that it says he found the code in the Bible. The short story is they ran it through a computer, and it said that Netanyahu, while he was prime minister, would be assassinated. That was one of the predictions in the Bible, according to them. And I remember years later, he was no longer prime minister, if that's the title. And for years, I thought, well, that was not going to happen. He can't die and then he comes back to power. If that's just fulfilled, remember this story, right? If they say he choked on a raisin, remember this story.
But anyone could put anything into the computer and get any kind of result that they want in order to show people, in order for them to manifest that, to happen and stuff. And with what Jack was saying about that
Ouch.
number, the incomplete man is 2/3 of a man, 666, 2/3. And that's the beast. Once you find that other third, that empathetic side, that love side, that connection to source, then you're a full and complete man. So that's kind of what the 666 means to
That's
me.
brilliant. I got to consider that shit.
Wow,
And I got to talk about the
that
first part
is.
about the computer. It's brilliant. I'm finna
Jesse,
jump
you
on it
got to
now.
come back down off that fucking ladder and just spit that shit
Wait,
again. I
wait.
don't want to rewind it.
The computer shit I wanted to say first. They tried that theory, uh, whether you could put anything in there, and they tried it with random books. They fed them into the computer too and saw what the odds were. And they tried, all books, and especially really big books, because they thought the odds would be better. And still, they found it didn't occur in the other books. The odds was like 1 in a trillion type shit of even having it occur randomly. And this happened all the time to bolster that shit. And the shit about the 2/3 of the man being a beast. 666 is 2/3. I didn't think of that.
Joe, just real quick off topic. Being Chicago is where I'm from nearby, and so are you. The Chicago, the band, had a song 25 or 6 to 4. Do you remember that?
No, I'm black. But go ahead.
Well, it's famously people thought that it was a drug reference, 25 or 6 to 4 in the morning, or what is it, 25 or 6 to 4, 25% or 6 to 4, which would be reduced to 2/3. So it was just cut.
Ah, dope. I like shit like that. That's why I don't like that ABC rap. I like shit that hit years later. That's what he was talking about. That's the good shit.
Mhm. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. The hidden
Hey,
meanings behind
I'm
it.
gonna abandon you guys. I didn't have this much time. I'm actually working and all of that shit. But it's been great. Catch you cats.
Glad you got a chance to see us.
Yeah,
You
I'm
be
glad
good
as well.
now.
Easy.
Yeah,
Be
Joe, and
good.
thanks for
Have a
stopping
good
by
night.
today.
Say again, Jesse.
I just said thanks, Joe. Thanks for stopping by today, on the
Thank-
show. You like to frequent check it out, and you're actually active, so appreciate that. And Angeline, you were saying something?
I was just saying, have a good night, Joe.
And thank you both.
Blessing, brother. Peace. Um, and actually,
Jack's
maybe
getting tired.
we should wrap it up around nearing the 2 hour mark. That might be a nice point anyway. That's kind of where I was feeling. Thoughts on fear and love? Broad topic.
No, just want to say I love you, Jack, and I'm glad you keep going on this. And yeah, I'm going to head out too, probably figure out some dinner stuff. And I love you guys. I love you, Jesse.
Love you, Angeline.
Peace. Have a good evening.
Peace
Bye.
be you guys.
All right. Peace. Thank you.
What
Jesse,
was your
take-
question? You mentioned love and fear.
yeah.
So fear would be the unnatural vibration that they've, made people. And it's like an illusion. It's that fake illusion that people have been put into, and that's the opposite of love, right? So it's like the yin and the yang. The yin is, what the whole that justifies the whole. There's the love vibration. They created the yang, the fear to, justify their shitty behavior. And so I think that that's where they've pulled people away from is, their true essence is what they are, is that love vibration. God is love. The energy that surrounds us is love. And, as soon as you pull yourself away from it, then you're in that unnatural, fear state.
Thank you, brother.
It's an interesting world we live in, and fear it's a motivating factor. I mean, it's so unfortunate that fear keeps people lost in their confusion. I mean, the fear of change is one of the most, obvious factors in why a abused spouse will stay with an abusive spouse. The fear of change. So just the tough world we live in. I'll leave with saying this. I fear a lot of people are living in fear, and I think that that's a sad reality. And I would like you to find a way, or the world to find a way to help people get out of that reality of not knowing what today is going to end up like, much less what tomorrow might bring. That's a very true and unfortunate scenario for some people. So a life without fear would be, wow, a distant thought at this point. Certainly one of the better ones we could look towards.
Yeah. And if only people would listen to my voice, that's actually what I'm teaching. So, Scott and others, thank you all for joining the stream today. Those who tuned in, I appreciate all who tuned in. Sincerely, I do understand that the things I'm offering, live without fear. It is possible. It is available. It's for you to choose. It's for you to be willing to accept, to humble yourself too, that the problems, your worries, your fears, those are your choice. You picked them up. You can put them down. I'd like to offer you some help and encouragement to suggest put down some of your old fears, put down some of your old worries, put down some of your old ideas, your old limitations, because the whole purpose of life is to grow, and the best way to grow is to learn. So as moments come through your day, please capture the opportunities to learn. When there's an opportunity to ask questions, do so. If there's an opportunity to discover, do so. If there's an opportunity to explore, press yourself, please. I encourage you. That's one of the things Angeline was offering, and others, right? Part of the discussion today is breaking from the old patterns, exploring something new, kind of pressing into becoming more and serious. Stay curious. If you stay curious with the mind of a child and recognize you are a child, you're just a child with a few years. We are all children of God, discovering what life has to offer. And, well, I can finally speak here. I can finally speak again. And I want to remind everybody, please, right? This world is for us to share. There's so much to discover, so much to appreciate, so much for us to offer each other. I don't want to get negative, so I'm going to start wrapping up. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, I do love all of you. who have been joining in. And I sincerely invite anyone who's interested in accepting me for me, even though I've got the flaws and the problems. And sometimes I'm rough around the edges, and sometimes I even snap at people out of my frustration. But if you can get beyond that, you can accept me for who I am. I'm actually a pretty damn fun guy to be around. Very creative. I focus on positivity. I focus on growth. I focus on encouragement. I focus on education and correction. I don't believe in punishment, and I don't believe in debts. I don't believe in revenge. I don't believe in resentments. I don't even really believe in guilt. I know that all of these feelings, all of these ideas that build up and that we do face, there are ways through them. There are ways to them to overcome the negative feelings. Brothers and sisters, love is available in abundance. And when you find the love that's available in abundance for you, through you, with nothing more than the here and now, right? Because the here and now has been offered to us all uniquely, perfectly, ideally, so that we might discover what we can grow into from the here and now into the future. And if we moved beyond our fears, if we pressed beyond our opinions, our limitations, our imagined excuses and blame, if we pressed beyond those things into the life that might be discovered together, the human race, if we work together collectively, even if we get small groups to work together, we can accomplish great things. So what great things are waiting within you? Find the potential within you, because tomorrow, praise God, tomorrow, by God's grace, we may get another chance. Sincerely, thank you again to all who joined in, subscribed. Please watch for the notifications. At this point of life, I hope and intend to return tomorrow. Till then, thank you again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all.